It is my distinct pleasure this morning to welcome you to our third Christmas Blessings event. Now, we here at Lime, we're really keen on honoring unsung heroes, and those heroes are people who basically they do things not for the recognition but just because you think it's the right thing to do. And so I'd just like to share with you this morning what is an unsung hero. An unsung hero is a person who makes a substantive yet unrecognized contribution, a person whose bravery is unknown until today, because today we have decided to recognize you in our way because we really appreciate the contributions that you have made to your society, to your community, to your families. And we just want to say, especially this time of year, thank you. So at this time, I will just invite our General Manager, Mr. Davidson Charles, to come and share some brief words with you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for being here, and it's really my pleasure to be here this third anniversary of our Christmas blessing. For us, it's one of those things that we do as our community type contribution to Antigua. What makes us proud in doing this is that we have had, as Arlene so demonstrated and indicated, that these are unsung heroes. You are the idols for a lot of people in our community. Christmas is a time that we look at and we wish to give back. And I will tell you that in the way we arrived at the nominees, we had customers writing in, and we also had some nominations. And I see some faces I recognize, and I say, very, very well. Thank you so very much for coming today. And I wanted to just emphasize that our unsung heroes, our Christmas blessing, provides us with an opportunity to reflect. Reflect on the things that you have done throughout your years without necessarily asking for any reward. It is doing it from the heart. And for us, that means a little bit more than just doing it for a reward. I will say that a lot of it comes from giving back to your communities, giving back to the individuals you serve, giving back to those who you would have done simply out of your heart. We want to look at that aspect of your contribution, because what we want to emphasize also is your humility. The humility that you have engaged in contributing to this society. And we think, as they say, humility brings you closer to God, but also your humbleness in giving, in continuing to do the right thing, to assist others and develop others. And all of you would have had that opportunity to develop and educate and provide guidance to a number of people in our society. What we wanted to emphasize also is that Christmas isn't just about giving the gift and receiving a gift. We believe, and this is called Christmas blessing, because Christmas is opening your hearts to love your neighbor as yourself, to your families and friends. So when we offer our Christmas blessings today and our awards to you, it is our Lime's recognition of the service that you have done in our communities, to the individuals that you have served, and those lives that you've touched in a manner that no reward would be the best. We do recognize that all of you have done tremendously well in this community, and none of you have asked for a public reward. Today, Lime extends its gratitude to all of you. Continue to do well, continue to do what you do best. And we would wish you a safe, a happy, a Merry Christmas, and a very, very healthy Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Now, as Mr. Charles so rightly said, you are our unsung heroes, and we have great admiration for you, because when you contributed to your society or to your community, you did not do this for a reward. Now, real courage is doing the right thing when no one is watching, and you were doing that. No one was watching. You do the unpopular thing because it's what you believe in. And so at this time, I'd just like to call on Mr. Jamal Gordon to serenade our heroes this morning. Jamal?
If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you want. There's an answer. If you look within your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you look within yourself, and that emptiness you feel will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Just hold on, there will be tomorrow, and in time you'll find a way. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is that a hero lies in you, that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in you.
A hero lies in you. And so this is so inspiring because with your work, we, as the others looking on, we can become heroes as well. So we're using you as a launching pad for our next Lime's blessing. Now we're going to go right into our honorees. And so what I'd like to do at this time is to invite Mr. Shand Merchant, who is our marketing manager, and also Mr. Davidson Charles, our general manager, to come up so that we can present our honorees with their awards today. Our first honoree is Miss Natalia Simon. Miss Natalia Simon. Now, based on her nomination, we have that she's one of the most giving people around. She was born in St. Kitts, and she moved to Antigua almost 50 years ago due to marriage, and has loved Antigua as her very own. She is the only remaining charter member of the Optimist Club of St. John's, an organization she has served for the past 23 years, giving of her time and resources to make Antigua and Barbuda a better place for young people. She has served the Optimist movement in every capacity, climaxing with the role of district governor 2013, 2014, leading all the clubs in the whole Caribbean. Natalia is also a devout Catholic and serves the church as zealously as she serves the community. Her life is one of giving back. And at this time, we here at Lime, we cannot think of a person more deserving of this accolade today than Miss Simon. Thank you again, Ms. Simon. We'd like to call now Pastor James Warner. Oh, on behalf of Pastor Warner, Mrs. Warner will be accepting his nomination today. Oh, he's off island, so he's unable to attend today. Now, Pastor Warner is from the village of All Saints, and he is a pastor of the All Saints Fellowship Believers located on the Osborne Main Road in All Saints Village. He has been a pastor for the past 35 years. He's one of those persons who would give without expecting anything in return. He has dedicated a lot of time ministering to people in need, and he has assisted persons financially who are unable to pay CXC exam fees, school fees, and even giving financial help to couples getting married who didn't have the means to do so. He has affected many lives, the lives of many inmates in a positive way at Her Majesty's Prison, where he devoted his time early every Sunday morning for years, preaching and counseling them. There are stories given by him where he said that persons would call his house at any time, day or night, asking for help, and he has never refused a call or refused to help. He would literally run to their aid. He has also dedicated his time every Monday morning for many years, even up until now, to hold devotional sessions with the J.T. Ambrose School at the Anglican Church. Himself and the priest, Reverend Clarence Joseph. In addition to his Christian ministry, Pastor Warner is also a livestock and vegetables farmer. He owns quite a number of cows and he grows vegetables, not for sale, but to give to the needy and less fortunate. At the same time, goes for the cows, he would have them slaughtered at special times of the year, sell a small portion, but most of the meat would be given to the poor, the needy, and the less fortunate. Now, it is our opinion here at Lime today that Pastor Warner is indeed a hero. And so we'd just like, on behalf of Lime, we'd like to say to Mrs. Warner, thank you for the contributions that he has made in the community. A God-fearing woman of integrity, a selfless giver, a friend to all, an unsung hero. This is Mrs. Noreen Mingo. Being the eldest woman of Vernon's estate, her love and kindness will always be cherished by her family, friends, and especially persons that live in the parish of St. Peter's. All of her life has been centered in cooking, giving, and helping the young and elderly. She has often voluntarily rendered free service to unfortunate parents that couldn't send their children to the daycare or preschool. When she was a manager at the Pierce Secondary Cafeteria, she would always give free lunch to the children that came to school hungry. Miss Mingo has offered free cooking lessons, especially in the communities of Parham Town and Vernon's Estate, and has freely fed those who were in need. Every Christmas, Miss Mingo's biggest giving season, everyone in the Vernon's Estate can testify of the free Christmas goodies, such as pies, cakes, etc., that they have received. For this Christmas, we hope that instead of her giving out these cakes, we know we are now giving her blessing. And we'd like to thank you on behalf of Lime, Ms. Mingo. And we hope and pray that in the new year that God gives you strength, that you can continue to do your good work. Again, we're extremely delighted to extend Christmas blessings to Mrs. Kanisha Archibald. Kanisha Archibald is a teacher and a second form level head at her school. This means that she's responsible for all the second forms. She serves as an example and a mentor to both young and old teachers. Public education is a difficult field to work in, and it is hard to find many who still go the extra mile to reach children and to impact their future in a meaningful way. For more than 10 years in teaching, Mrs. Archibald still has a reservoir of enthusiasm and has an active vision to bring about change in the sometimes drab classrooms in public schools. Mrs. Archibald is also superintendent at her Sabbath school and a Pathfinder affiliate. She is clearly committed to a holistic development of children, and in spite of being a mother of 2 and a wife who is pursuing further studies, she does not skip a beat. She's a giver at heart and often contributes little treats and pens to members of staff, and her small act of kindness certainly goes a long way. We here at Lime, we think that she certainly deserves a Christmas blessing this Christmas 2014. Mrs. Yvonne Destin. Mrs. Yvonne Destin of North Street, St. John's, Antigua, is an unsung hero in the Point community. She assists people who are less fortunate in the community on a daily basis with food and school supplies for their children. She has also assisted so many persons who are studying abroad with their tuition. Mrs. Destin donates paint to the mental hospital on numerous occasions and without asking for any public recognition. At this time, we are delighted to present Mrs. Yvonne Destin of North Street with our Lime Christmas blessing. Mr. Keith Eastman. Miss Destin is celebrating her birthday today, and so we have to happy birthday. Mr. Keith Eastman is the current secretary of our association, the Association of the non-profit association of the military force in or outside of Antigua and Barbuda. This association was revived in 2005 after it became defunct due to old age and death of the founding members who served in World War II. Since the revision, Mr. Eastman has done endless hours of work to help those in need. He has, on at least 3 occasions, traveled to London to represent the association using his own resources. He has been able to get benefits for all the World War II veterans living in Antigua, and just this past month found the 2 in Barbuda. The association was given a building by the government, which is intended to be turned into an activity center for the World War II veterans and persons who served in the local defense force and have fallen on hard times. Mr. Eastman has almost single-handedly gotten this project up and running and has put a lot of his own resources again and time into funding this project, which will bring relief to those persons who will be able to go there and have a hot meal or to relax in the company of peers while their caretakers are at work. Mr. Eastman has even transformed his personal library at his home into an office of the association. He also funds all the secretariat work out of his own funds. And as they don't have their own office, there are little resources to go around. At this time, we cannot repay Mr. Eastman for his contributions, but we can show him our appreciation by giving him a Lime Christmas blessing. We have some persons that we will be giving Lime Christmas blessings as well, but these persons were nominated internally, and we have here with us Reverend Selena Joseph. Reverend Selena Joseph was born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. She was educated in Trinidad and Tobago, and then she migrated to Barbados. She was employed as an accountant in Barbados with Mitchell Construction. There she met Thomas Joseph in early 1969 and married him in December 1969 in Antigua. She was employed with the A.S. Bryden and Son from 1970 and resigned as general manager in 1986. In 1988, she entered the ministry as a lay reader. And then in 1996, she was ordained as a deacon. She attended the Codrington College for 1 year, 1996, and then was ordained as the first female priest in the Diocese of the Northeastern Caribbean and Aruba in 1997. She is the biological mother of 1 son and 2 adopted sons, and the grandmother of 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl. Today, we would like to say thank you, Reverend Joseph, for your contribution, and Lime would just like to give you today a Christmas blessing in 2014. Nurse Elaine Edwards. Nurse Elaine Edwards has been a nurse and midwife for over 40 years, serving the community of Antigua and Barbuda. She has given of her time, her energy, and expertise to the betterment of the medical profession in Antigua and Barbuda. She has gone over and beyond, and her commitment to community service is demonstrated in a number of ways. Firstly, she offers free blood pressure and sugar checks at the Bethel Gospel Hall in the St. Johnson's Village every Monday. This has contributed in a significant way in helping people in the community manage their chronic illnesses. And then she has shared her talents and skills in sewing and craft. And over the years, she has been committed to passing on this skill. And as such, she has taught many sewing and embroidery classes. Nurse Edwards and her husband, the late Pastor Dalma Edwards, have been committed church members over the years and have pastored at the Bethel Church for many years. Nurse Edwards has committed her life and work to the church, including teaching Sunday school for many years, and has remained steadfast in her faith and her commitment to having others come to know Christ. At this time, we are very honored to have you in our presence today, Nurse Edwards, and we know and we recognize you as a significant pillar in the community of St. Johnson's Village, Clare Hall, Sutherlands, and the areas around, and to the wider Antigua and Barbuda. She is our unsung hero today, and we say thank you from Lyme. Mrs. Theodora Commodore. Now, Mrs. Theodora Commodore is a Dominican by birth. And an interesting fact about her was that she migrated to Antigua in 1974, just that same year when we had that great earthquake. And so she shook things up a little bit by coming up here. And so in 1974, she came to Antigua and she loved it so much she did not return to Dominica. She became the teacher at the All Saints Secondary School for 15 years. And we just like to give her up. And then she went to the Christ the King High School, where she spent 25.5 years. Now, this month, she retired. And so it is fitting that at the time of her retirement, we are honoring her as an not so unsung hero, because now we know about her. And Mrs. Commodore, an interesting thing about her was that when we were talking, and I said, you must have impacted so many persons in the community. You know what she said to me? I think more people impacted me. So it was vice versa. And that was an interesting thing for her to say to me, because usually when you're a teacher, when you're a devout Catholic, and she's married to Mr. Marcel Commodore, you would think that she impacted more persons than vice versa. And it was very interesting that she would say that. And so at this time, we would like to honor Mrs. Commodore. And we're sending her out with a tablet in style. Thank you, Mrs. Commodore.
Thank you very much.
For your life. Mr. Vincent Benjamin. Okay, Mr. Vincent Benjamin was born in the village of Falmouth. I just recently found out that is one of our first towns. And the offspring of an Antiguan father and a Montserratan mother.
Makes for Caribbean integration.
That's right.
Much more successful than what the politicians try.
All right. So his place of birth makes him, in the words of King Obstinate, 100% booby.
Country booby.
Country booby. I'm proud of it.
Yes.
Mr. Benjamin attended the Cubs Cross primary government school, and as a result of his performance at what was then an annual scholarship examination, he earned a government scholarship to the Antigua Grammar School, while this institution was still owned and administered by the Anglican Church. The Anglican Church. Interestingly, Mr. Vincent Benjamin says that he's never paid a single cent for his education, and he is eternally grateful to the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda, and also the trustees of the Millery Fund for facilitating various phases of his tertiary education, which allowed him to attend the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, from 1965 to 1966, and then from 1967 to 1969. The University of Montreal from 1967 to 1966 to 67, and the University of Bristol in England from 1987 to 1988. From an early age, Mr. Benjamin wanted to become a school teacher, and he was thrilled to be posted to the Princess Margaret School in October of 1969, where he spent 4 happy years as a teacher of French and also as a housemaster of Yellow House. Yellow House. In 1973, he was catapulted to the position of headmaster of All Saints Secondary School, where he was stationed for the next 5 years. He spent 2 terms at Jennings Secondary School and then 3 years at the Clear Hall Secondary School before returning to the Princess Margaret School in 1982. For the next 11 years, including 1 year spent in Bristol University, he was officially attached to his favorite berth before being transferred to the Ministry of Education headquarters in 1993. In the 4 schools where he worked as principals, he encouraged and highlighted excellence, whether it occurred in the classroom or in the playing field. Outside performances, whether they resulted from individual or team efforts, were brought before the entire school at morning assembly. He considered the student and staff discipline as essential components of a well-run school, and accordingly promoted this concept among students and staff. By crude estimation, it is imagined that Mr. Benjamin has directly impacted the lives of over 5,000 students during his time as a classroom teacher and a headmaster at the 4 educational institutions where he worked. Moreover, as Education Planning Officer and Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Education for approximately 7 years, he is convinced that the execution of government's educational policies affected in a positive manner the lives and welfare of many more persons. In addition, Mr. Benjamin was a member of the ABN Antigua and Barbuda, ABN UT Mobilization Committee, Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, and a member of the Salvation Army Advisory Board. We are very, very happy today to honor Mr. Vincent Benjamin for his timeless contribution to education in this country.
Before I disappear, allow me to recognize the presence of Mrs. Elnora Warner, who attended the All Saints Secondary School. That was the school of my first headship. And then allow me also to recognize 3 stalwarts from Princess Margaret School in the presence of Mr. Gemma Hazelwood, Mr. Nigel Archibald, and last but by no means, Mr. Shand Merchant. Thank you.
Thank you, Lime, for giving me this opportunity. As the Secretary of the Antigua and Barbuda Ex-Servicemen's Association, what I would like to ask is that if you know of anyone who's served either locally in the military or World War II, or widows of either the local servicemen or World War II veterans, please ask them to get in touch with the Antigua and Barbuda Ex-Servicemen's Association. For the first time since 1946, in April this year, World War II veterans of this country managed to get a financial grant. And that was 8 World War II veterans and 1 widow. We went and we did the puppy drive in October on Barbuda in the 2 schools, and we then were introduced to 2 World War II veterans and another widow. And they've just gotten a grant that will, financial grant that will take them through to February, while the application for the year's grant is being considered. So if you know of anyone who served either locally or World War II, or widows, please ask them to get in touch with the Antigua and Barbuda Ex-Servicemen's Association. The notices for the general meetings are in the press for every monthly meeting, which is the first Saturday of every month, and the executive committee meetings are the 3rd Tuesday of every month. So there are always notices in the press, and my phone number is always there. Thank you very much.
I'd like to, on behalf of my husband, say thank you very much to Lime for presenting him with this award. He truly, well, he's not here on island, but I know that whatever he does it more to the glory of God and not looking for any reward. And so, you know, I just want to express my appreciation on his behalf. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Lime for the award given. I'd like to thank whoever nominated me. And I was brought up in St. Kitts with a headmistress, the late Dame Bernice Lake, and we were taught that when you live in a community, you should give back to the community. Yes, I'm Antiguan fully by marriage, and Antigua has been my home, and not only because I'm an optimist, but because of my family life. It is very important for me to give back, because someday somebody will give to someone else. Thank you so much for recognizing me, and it's heartwarming.
Just like to say thank you very much for this honor. What I like is what Lime said, that this is unexpected. I never expected to have been given anything for teaching, which is where I love, which is what I love and where I serve. And although I have just retired, nobody can keep me out of teaching or out of any kind of school. Thank you very much.
I would just like to thank Lime for the blessing that was bestowed on me. It was really a surprise, because when somebody called to tell me that I've been chosen, I said, me? Why me? And so they told me. And I'm really honored. And I have to thank you very much. I love my job. I cared for my job, because I really was not working for the person. I was working for God and serve people. And I love people. And that is why I continue to do this, what I do.
I would like to thank Lime for their blessings. When I got the call, I said, what? I was very surprised. And I'm happy to know that someone thought of me when I didn't, think of me doing any good thing for anybody. It's just my way of life, giving and helping people. And I'm happy for the blessings that I've accepted today, and for the one who put me through.
I too would like to join with the other awardees in saying a very special thank you to Lime this morning. I think it was last week when Shan called and said that you were selected as, you know, this program we have going, Christmas Blessings. I said yes. He said, well, you have been, I said, beg your pardon. And he said, yes. I said, who nominated me? He said, that's a secret. And up until this day, I don't know who or where I was nominated. But I want to say a special thank you to both Lime and to the person or persons who nominated me. I think as a truly West Indian person, because if you listen to my bio, I mean, it was St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Antigua. I like meeting people, and I think one of the ways that God has called me to meet people is in the ministry. And I thoroughly enjoy being the person that I am in the ministry. It's not just getting up there on a Sunday morning and preaching, but it also has to do with, you know, your day-to-day activity, going out there to meet the sick and the shut-in, and you have to deal with them, and you have problems with the young people. And I must say, I have a very good rapport with the young people in my parish, because I look forward to them, and I tell them all the time, if your parents don't deal with you, I'm going to deal with you. And so I want to say thanks again, because, I mean, what I was doing and will continue to do is from the love of my heart and for the love of God. Because he has said in his word, in as much as you've done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. And so, once again, Lime, thank you very much. God bless.
I know that I had my say already, but I forgot one thing that is very near and dear to me. I worked at Princess Margaret School, but I did not have the honor of attending there as a student. Well, I did the next best thing and married a former student of the Princess Margaret School. That's my wife of 43 years and counting. And she has a sense of humor, because as I looked at the tablet which I had, I wondered aloud whether it was an aspirin or Tylenol, and she said paracetamol.
I'd like to thank Lime for this Christmas blessing. From the time you mentioned pens, I know who probably nominated me. And as a teacher of Princess Margaret School, thank you for the support. And we do need the support at Princess Margaret School. There are many persons here who have Princess Margaret as their alma mater, right, Mr. Benjamin? So we're asking for your support as well to help develop better women and better men, because that is what our school is in need of. Yes, the world is in need of good men and women, so support Princess Margaret as well. Thank you.
I'd like to say thanks to Lime and for choosing me, whoever nominated me. I'm truly grateful. And it was a surprise, because I usually not a phone person that good, but my children pushed me, so I guess some one of them had nominated me. And I give thanks for my Christmas blessings. Thank you.
Before you sit down, I'd like to sing happy birthday to you, because today's your special day.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. We were looking for a song to sing, search for a melody, search for someone to lead. We were looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, then go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now, 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 now. No more broken promises, no more call to war, unless it's love and peace that we're really fighting for. We can destroy hunger, we can conquer hate. Put down the arms and raise your voice, we're joining hands today. Oh, I search for a leader, but the leader was me. We can be heroes, just go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now, 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 now. Whoa, now, now, now. If you are ready, we can shape the world. Just believe again that it starts within. We don't have to wait till destiny. We all can be the change that we want to see. If you're out there, whoa. If you're out there and you're ready now, say it loud, scream it out. If you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now, now, now. If you're out there, if you're out there, if you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late.
That was really, really, really good. Really good. I'm very. Now, we here at Lime, we know that we would never, ever be able to repay your efforts. And since no value can really be attached to your selfless giving, we do, however, wish to acknowledge your efforts, your contributions, and to share with you a token of our appreciation, which is what we did today. And as Felix Adler, we just went through some things here with quotes for unsung heroes, and Felix Adler says that the hero is a person who kindles a great light in the world. And so we consider you as heroes, and we seeing you as great lights in this world, and you set up blazing torches in the large streets of life for men to see. And at this time, and again, we'd just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for your invaluable contribution. Have a wonderful Christmas and a bright and a prosperous 2015. Thanks again from Lime.